In her remarks, Sister Odilia Onondo expressed deep gratitude, describing it as an honor to see her former student now serving as the nation's First Lady. She said the surprise visit would remain one of the most memorable days of her life.
I'm very excited to show you. I don't know what to say. One of my best students at St. Mary's, who is Madam.
Sister Onondo taught Professor Gertrude Mutariga years ago at St. Mary's Girls Secondary School in Zomba, making the reunion a touching reminder of the enduring bond between teacher and student.
Indian High Commissioner to Malawi, Amarillis, has hailed the country's leadership for creating a peaceful atmosphere for freedom of worship. Kuja made the remarks during the celebration of Baisakhi, a harvest festival marking agricultural prosperity for Sikh community members at Sikh Temple in Limbi. Nixon Malemia has compiled this report, being read by Ruth Jinangwa.
Gucha said that while the country's leadership is working hard to fix the economy, it was encouraging that the leadership is also championing the peaceful coexistence of different religious groups in the country.
His Worship Excellency Mayor also spoke in his remark that Malawi is, of course, is a very democratic country and where freedom of expression is there, so that a person of all religions, all faiths, they are free to observe their belief and faith also. So here, like Muslim community also, they are also free to pray. Sikh community, Hindu, Christian, so many other religion peoples, they are free to observe their faith and observe to construct their worship places also. So on that note, just I want to tell you that as it was mentioned by President of the Sikh Association in Malawi, a person that Gurdwara was established in 1928.
Blantyre City Mayor, Councillor Isaac Jobo Osman, hailed members of the Sikh community in Malawi for making a significant contribution towards the country's development, including job creation. The mayor said Malawians have a lot to learn from members of the Sikh community in Malawi, including business ventures.
First of all, it's like really bright the freedom of worship. The Excellency, Professor Zabuka, he gives the freedom of worship. So to us, to join these people in the celebrating today is all the program for us. So we just join them. We should learn to respect, a lot of Malawians, when we see someone is pushing, we think that that person will not go far. So it's high time we need to learn how our friends do it. They believe in themselves, whatever they believe in, they do it. So we need also to believe and we can do it. We can achieve our goal by believing in what we are thinking of.
Chairperson for Sikh Association in Malawi, Manwinder Sin, said the members of the community will strive to create business and job opportunities for the country's prosperity.
Today we celebrate our festival called Baisakhi, which is meant for the harvesting season as well as the foundation of our religion. It was done in 1699, and today marks another important day. We have unveiled the bust of our warrior Sikh Empire King, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, which has been inaugurated today by the High Commissioner of India and his worship, the mayor of that time. King's Sikh's presence in Malawi has been continued, and they were part of also the installation of all the railway lines in the 4 East African countries, that was Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania and Malawi. So Sikhs has been, all the engineering job has been contributed by them.
During the festival, the Sikh community members, the Indian High Commissioner to Malawi and Blantyre City Mayor unveiled a bust of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, a Sikh warrior and a visionary leader who fostered a golden era of prosperity tolerance and unity before he died in 1839.
The Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MACRA, has challenged local leaders in Mangochi to embrace the implementation of the National Physical Address System, saying the initiative has the potential to promote tourism in the Lakeshore District. Speaking during an interface meeting with members of the Mangochi District Executive Committee, MACRA Communications Manager Clara Ngwira said the National Physical Address System program can spur economic growth through the tourism sector. Sotindazi has compiled this report, being read by Devi Umar.
Speaking during a stakeholders meeting in Mangochi, MACRA's communications manager, Clara Ngwira, said the National Physical Address System initiative is an ongoing program where houses will be numbered, streets and buildings named for efficient goods and service delivery. She said the project is aimed to digitize Malawi by mapping unique codes to locations nationwide. She therefore called on stakeholders, particularly traditional leaders, to embrace the system by helping raise awareness on the importance of the National Physical Address System to their subjects.
The system is beneficial to us as Malawians because we are promoting tourism. Tourists should come to our country, but how do they come to our country and feel safe? They need to know where they are going. So, which is the destination that they have chosen? That particular destination should have a physical address. And once they punch that into their phones, it will guide them straight to that particular place.
According to Ngwira, through the project, young people will have employment opportunities because they will be engaged in the coding of the houses, among other roles. Reacting to the development, Senior Chief Bananyambi of the district held MACRA for the project.
As traditional leaders, we are happy with the project. Our understanding is that the project will be beneficial to our people. Apart from its core objective, we are being requested to identify potential young people who will be helping in the project, like erecting signposts, coding streets, and numbering of houses in our areas.
Benefits include provision of verified proof of residence and increased accuracy in population and housing census information collection as a result of accurate numbering and naming of physical infrastructures.
Strained relationships and family conflicts are among the major challenges contributing to mental health problems affecting many women and girls in the country. This has been revealed during a month-long mental wellness campaign conducted by the organization known as Sorry, I Am Not Sorry, which started from the 10th of last month to the 10th of this month. Our reporter Ruth Chinangwa engaged Human Resource and Operations Manager for the organization, Harriet Meja, to shed more light on the outcome of the campaign.
Okay, there are many challenges. I'll just mention a few, or the ones that actually stood out the most. The first was obviously relationships and marriage problems. A lot of people came to vent about issues that they're going through in their relationship, marriage, abuse, relationship traumas, and everything else. The other one was the actual reproductive health problems, infertility, miscarriage, PMDD, and all those issues that are surrounding reproductive health. The other one was financial problems and how they are balancing that up with parenthood or marriage issues. So these were the most that stood out, and the others were secondary that were more personal, like maybe struggling with school.
What was the turnout, the way women came to seek for help in the month that you targeted them in mental health?
There were 10 who came to the anonymous digital platform. So those that came, we talked and sought therapy, but without actually wanting to be known, were 10. But about 207 showed up for the therapy sessions for the one-on-one.
How is the country faring in as far as mainstreaming mental health issues is concerned, in all areas mainly?
I think that Malawi has now started recognizing and accepting these mental health problems. I think we have seen a lot of noise, a lot of voice, a lot of people and institutions talking about, even the government recognizing it, although we as an organization would also like to say that we also have some type of long way to go to reach to the masses. If you notice, most of these mental health lessons or education is happening in English and not necessarily in our vernacular language, and also the interventions are basically just in our towns and not necessarily in the villages. So people are just going through things without actually knowing what to say. If they don't even have the language for what they're going through, they do not know what to say, how to say it.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Amarillis Jingambe. A reminder of the top stories. First Lady urges students of Our Lady of Wisdom to focus on education for a better future. Indian High Commissioner hails the country's leadership for promoting freedom of worship. And in sports, all eyes on FDH Bank Premiership as new season begins this weekend. Welcome back. Minister of Trade Simon Itaye has commended young people in the country for taking the lead in innovation, describing it as a key driver in reducing unemployment. Itaye made the remarks in Lilongwe after touring pavilions at the National ICT Innovation Awards organized by the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MACRA.
We have been talking about job creation and so on and so forth, and in this instance what I've seen is that these youth are creating their own jobs, and they're also employing, and some of them will be employing some people as they go along. And also what has been very impressive to me is that all the products are products that can be sold meaningfully, and also they are serving a purpose, some of them for education, others for agriculture. So we have, I think, very good innovators in Malawi, and what we need to do is to mentor them and ensure that the products are being sold and the trade can go up in terms of their products that they have. I have also seen some products that have been told have been exported out of this country. So now we are looking at trading services, and we are now exporting some of our trading services in terms of the products that we are locally producing in Malawi.
Former Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor McDonald Mafuta says the bank did not authorize the sale of Amarillis Hotel to Public Service Pension Trust Fund because the transaction was violating the regulator's directives for financial institutions. Male, who was also Registrar of Financial Institutions, said this in Lilongwe when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee for the Amarillis Hotel deal inquiry. Beatrice Mabe reports.
The former Reserve Bank governor has told the Public Accounts Committee that the regulator received a tip-off from the Pensions Fund Board suggesting that despite the central bank halting processes, the Public Service Pension Trust Fund was continuing with the transaction. Mafuta Mwale says the Reserve Bank sent a letter seeking an engagement with the boards to reiterate its stance on the stop order till emerging issues were resolved, but efforts were not successful. According to the former Registrar of Financial Institutions, the decision to halt the processes was arrived at after noting that there was no compliance to processes and regulations and that the deal would jeopardize timely payment of pension funds. Dr. Mafuta Mwale has told the committee that the Reserve Bank did not make a transaction on behalf of the fund, adding that the Public Service Pension Trust Fund is an independent institution and makes its own decisions. He has since called for a thorough investigation of the board for not obeying the orders, adding those responsible should be held accountable.
Balancing the asset book is what made us to stop them, because we're not sure if you lock money, investment in that asset, how are you taking care of this concern? We could see a situation where The fund has all the investments, big houses there, big hotels there, but failing to pay a pensioner when his money for due, because they have locked all their money in those investments. And this is what the registrar has to protect, to make sure that the pensioner is receiving his or her money on.
Chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Stephen Malondera, has commended Dr. Mafuta Mwale for appearing before the committee and making recommendations which will help with the inquiry. On the request by Yusuf Investment, owners of the hotel, to hold the discussions in camera, Malondera says the committee has rejected the request as the inquiry is of public interest.
Malawians would like to see this, in my view, will undermine the reason why we have reopened the investigation. It will not make sense that you have reopened, then he is requesting that he appears in camera. Because as it stands, it is very clear people want to hear from the owners of Amarillis Hotel and Miss Colini Zamba. So in our view, we felt having that in camera is a big deal.
The Public Accounts Committee is expected to meet others mentioned in the transaction, among them National Bank, former Secretary to Government Colin Zamba, and the owner of Amarillis Hotel, Shiraz Yusuf, and the board of Yusuf Investment Limited. The Reserve Bank of Malawi ordered the Public Service Pension Trust Fund to immediately reverse the over 128 billion kwacha purchase of Amarillis Hotel, and about 72.6 billion kwacha has since been traced and frozen. Beatrice Mwabe, MPC News, Lilongwe.
FDH Bank has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening its partnership with the national broadcaster NBC. FDH Bank's Senior Manager for National Government and Public Enterprises, Eugene Nkhani, made the remarks when the bank's officials paid a visit to the newly appointed Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, Brian Banda. The bank has pledged to elevate its engagement with NBC from a largely transactional relationship to a more strategic and mutually beneficial partnership. In his remarks, Banda expressed appreciation for the long-standing relationship between NBC and FDH Bank, acknowledging the institution's continued support and the opportunities it has extended over the years. He underscored the importance of such partnerships in NBC's ongoing efforts to reposition itself and reclaim its status as a leading public broadcaster. In entertainment news, our reporter Simeon Boyce is giving us a profile of Madalitso Band. The band, which emerged from the outskirts of Untandire in Lilongwe, used to perform for little money in the streets of Lilongwe City until 2017, when they met a Good Samaritan who sponsored to record an album. The band is now more famous in other African countries, Europe and United States, where they travel every year to hold gigs and attend music festivals.
Madalitso Band is made of a duo, Yobo Maligwa and Yosefe Kalekeni. The band uses 3 instruments, a banjo, a babaton and a foot drum to wow audiences wherever they go. With these instruments and their voices, the duo is more famous in Europe and the United States of America, where they travel every year to hold music concerts and attend music festivals.
This is
Madalitso.
Daya hada sangalara kuma son dawa jitsa gibi ifam shoy mini marika kumbuka pana sindiwa chikwa mangudi wani mo
Some of the top music festivals where the band has performed include Roskilde 2018, Momad 2019, Womex in 2020, and last year they attended Africa Festival in the Netherlands. Some of the albums to their credit are Fungo la Nyemba and Wasalala. The duo, who are not that popular on the local scene, are true ambassadors of Malawi, as their Chichewa tunes are centered around Malawi and tourists come just to watch them perform. Simon Boyce, NBC News, Blantyre.
Moving on to sports, FDH Bank has branded the FDH Premiership as Waishosha ahead of the new season kickoff. The top flight league, sponsored at 1 billion kwacha per year, gets underway this Saturday. In the opening fixture, defending champions Mighty Wanderers will host Karonga United at Kamuzu Stadium. FDH Bank head of marketing Ronald Jinjere says they expect a competitive season, expressing hope that the sponsorship will help raise football standards in the country.
We look at this FDH Bank Premiership as something that will elevate the game overall, because there are so many areas that I've talked about. So in a nutshell, it is something that will raise the level of the game, and allow me also to talk about the theme. We've themed FDH Bank Premiership as Waishosha, and already you know that with that theme brings excitement, brings the energy. Yeah, we have Blantyre Derby, we have London Derby, and so many derbies. So all that will be built up and we feel the competition in this league.
In international news, the Catholic Church of Malawi has described the trip by Pope Leo XIV to Africa as a symbol of relevance and solidarity with the continent. Archbishop of Blantyre Archdiocese Thomas Luke Msusa made the remarks as the Catholic leader is winding up his African tour. Telson Magombo has more.
The trip was meant to turn the world's attention towards Africa. Commenting on the tour, Archbishop of Blantyre Archdiocese Thomas Luke Msusa said African countries are not forgotten by countries caught up by their own concerns, and that the tour was a deliberate act to put Africa back on the world agenda.
Therefore, it's a pastoral visit which encourages every person in Africa to accept his leadership, also to accept the presence of God. Another important thing is that his visit assures us as Africans that we too are people who belong to God. We are not an isolated people, but we are part of the world, citizens of the world. That's why Pope Leo XIV recognizes the people of Africa. That is also very encouraging for us.
Having visited Nigeria, Cameroon, and Angola, the Catholic leader stressed the need for African Catholics to lead on peace, debt relief, climate, and development. He encouraged Catholics in African countries to be on the forefront in spreading the gospel that will lead the world into prosperity. Statistics show that 20% of the world's Catholics are found in Africa. Johnson Magombo, NBC News.
And that's it from our newsroom this morning. A recap of our top stories before we leave. First Lady urges students of Our Lady of Wisdom to focus on education for a better future. Indian High Commissioner hails the country's leadership for promoting freedom of worship. And in sports, all eyes on FDH Bank Premiership as new season begins this weekend. For more news, visit NBC Digital on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You've been with me, Evelis Chingambe. Thanks for watching and good morning.